What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Hit the Books, Season 4, Episode 33. We are back with our NFL Draft, NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs right around the corner starting this Saturday, April 19th. No Ace, no Jesse, just me and Mackie this week. I was absent last week at the Pat McAfee big night down in Pittsburgh. Hell of a show. Brought out all the Pittsburgh legends, Crosby, Malkin, Letang, Ben, Skeens, Snoop Dogg, Wiz Khalifa. I'm sure you saw it on social media. It was a hell of a good time. But I am back this week, ready to talk some sports. Mackie, how are we feeling this week? Heading into the NBA playoffs, we had the play-in start last night. 2 more games tonight. NHL playoffs this weekend. This we obviously we say it many times a year. It's the best time of the year for sports, but it feels like for the past 2 weeks, I haven't really given a shit about the NHL. Maybe it's because all of our teams are out of the race, but I've just had my calendar marked for April 19th when we get to see some playoff hockey. How are we feeling heading into the NHL and NBA playoffs?
Yeah, exciting to get some playoff hockey going. Obviously, NBA gets way more competitive during the playoffs as well. We have matchups, and I think we almost have full matchups in both NHL and NBA, so we can go over that. Great match this weekend. Roy gets the job done finally. Love to see it. Huff doesn't, but not everyone can be happy about it. Other than that, MLB, you know how it goes. A lot of season left there. So other than
We're
that, not
already
much
getting
going
into the
on
dog days of the MLB, but
already.
it's it. I'm just waiting for the days when the NHL and NBA playoffs end. This is all we have, so you got to soak it in while we have it. We'll get right into it. A couple things in the NFL. NFL draft next Thursday. Obviously, last night or two, I think it was either last night or 2 nights ago. Miami quarterback Cam Ward was live streaming Tuesday evening when asked to name his top 5 running backs and top 5 receivers in the NFL. Ward answered confidently by saying Calvin Ridley, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and Traylon Burks at number 4 for the receivers. When asked about the running backs, he said was Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears. Do you think it's
So
safe to
he's just
say?
ripping Tennessee is what
Do
he's
you do
doing.
you think it's safe to say he knows where he'll be suiting up next season?
Yeah, I'm pretty I mean, Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears,
Like literally
um,
2 names that wouldn't even grace the top 20.
make it a little less obvious here, but, he had to throw in Jamar and Jettas because obviously 1 and 2 there, but,
Did you
yeah,
see
I'm
what I
I'm
said to Ace
sure.
today? I was like, at least start with like Saquon, Henry. You could throw Pollard in there if you really
Yeah, throw
want
him in the
to.
3 to where, like, it might get overlooked, but, yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's already been promised that he's getting the number 1 overall pick. Good for him, though.
Yeah, I had to start with that. That was absolutely that video.
Tajay Spears, top 2 running back in the NFL.
Whoever he's in the party with, the one dude could not stop laughing the whole time. He's like, "Dude, I'm not even joking. Traylon Burks." It's like you're joking. Like
Okay, bud.
you do not mean that. And then he said AJ Brown's a dog, but he's no Calvin Ridley.
AJ Brown used to be a Titan too.
I don't know. That was a crazy little bit into the MLB draft, but couple other things with the Saints. Their quarterback Derek Carr dealing with a shoulder injury that could sideline him for the 2025 season. Saints currently hold the 9th overall pick in the draft. Do you see them taking a guy like Shadur Sanders? Would this be a good fit with the Saints?
Yeah, I think they'd have to trade up to get Shedeur. I don't see him dropping to 9, but, yeah, I've seen a few things about that. I saw Dion comment on something about that. I'm sure he'd like him in New Orleans as well, but, you could also see them trade for a guy like Aaron Rodgers as well. Their options are open here. If they don't wanna trade up, you're not gonna get Shedeur at 9, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen who's top 5 is what? Tennessee, Browns, Giants. I think if he gets past the Giants, who's 4? Patriots don't need a quarterback. 5 is the Jaguars. They're not going to pick a quarterback. 6 is the Raiders. I think that's the one where I think you'd have to trade with the Raiders if the Raiders are set on not taking him.
I could see the, Giants just did all that work with Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston. But it also could be a situation where you bring in Shedeur, have him sit out a year, but, then again, Shadeur's probably not gonna wanna sit out a year. Tough situation here, I don't know. I heard, Travis Hunter is, like, almost a lock for 2nd overall too.
Yeah, it's looking like he's going to Cleveland. Abdul Carter. It's looking like the Giants are going to take whoever the Browns don't take it to, assuming Cam Ward is one. That leaves obviously the Patriots sitting there. They're going to go Mason Graham, Will Campbell. No one really cares. It's not the flashy player that you're looking for. Obviously, the first offensive tackle off the board, most likely with Will Campbell. Block up that blind side for Drake May. It's definitely a good fit for them. The other thing with Shadur, Did you see Colorado will be retiring Travis Hunter and Shadur Sanders numbers at their spring game this Saturday?
I did see this, and granted, there are a lot of players in different organizations that have not had their numbers retired that have had way better careers, but people are overlooking. I mean, I guess they didn't have the most winning program of all time, but Shadur's like top 3 in every single statistic
They
at
said he
to
broke.
quarterback
I forget who said it. They said he has like 10 school records for most games with 400 yards, most
with
games with 4 touchdowns.
with
Like,
the worst line in college football, and then you have it has to be their first Heisman ever in Travis Hunter.
yeah,
So
no one's
I
arguing the Travis Hunter thing. Everyone's just saying, all right, if his last name was anything but Sanders, is number two getting retired?
I don't know. I think, he had a great career at Colorado. They did not have the best team around him. He did what he could. He had huge wins last year. The first year, obviously, they what did they win 3, 4 games.
Yeah,
They didn't
where'd they start? Like 3-0 against 3
3-0, and then
smaller schools, and
they
then they got to
finished,
the
like yeah,
Pac-12, and then they just got killed.
which granted, obviously not great, but they were doing they it was 2 against 11 90% of the time. So, I mean, I don't hate that they're retiring the numbers. Obviously, like, I saw, like, Tim Tebow's number isn't even retired at Florida. Like, okay, yeah, there's obviously better players that haven't gotten the recognition of getting their number retired at a university, but to sit there and say that these guys don't deserve it at all is just stupid. I think, every university has their own thing, and these two obviously changed the entire momentum or the entire
They put
image
eyes
and
on Colorado.
everything. Exactly. It completely changed Colorado forever, so I think it's worth it.
The only issue I have, I don't have, I definitely think I don't have an issue with it. I guess I'd say the only thing I have is like if you're gonna do this, like Cordell Stewart, former Steelers quarterback before I was alive, I guess was maybe the best Colorado quarterback ever. I was not alive to watch. Won 2 bowl games, better record overall, things like that. His numbers not retired, led to them being ended in the top 25. I guess what twice, I don't really know, but also their national championship team. I didn't know this from I think it was 90 or 91 somewhere in there. Again, before my lifetime, born in 99, but they said no one from that team's numbers retired. So I guess, Travis and Shadur are going to be the first, but
Like I said, you could obviously make points to where there should be guys over them,
the exactly. Yeah.
but for like, I see comments like, this is a joke of an organization. These guys, like, 1 and 9 in conference play, like, these guys, like, they played their asses off. They changed the game forever at Colorado, and they're getting recognized for it. Good for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, I don't necessarily have an issue with it, especially because I feel like I have to not bash Shedeur fully because I still feel like the Steelers are going to trade with the
You
Panthers.
don't wanna have to backtrack everything you
Yeah,
say about
I
Shedeur.
can't be backtracking these takes next Thursday night after the Steelers are, possibly. I've seen so many scenarios where the Steelers trade with the Panthers to get that number 8 pick. Now that the Derek Carr news that we just talked about,
Yeah,
they
because
feel
you're
like
not
they
getting
have
him
to
at
get in front of the
21.
Saints. But the Raiders are the one I'm worried about at 6. I don't think he gets past 6. If they do, I think that's more of the Raiders are kind of looking for. I just think it's crazy. People are like the Raiders are going to draft Ashton Genty, and they're not even interested in Shadur. How are you just going to draft a running back when your team is not ready? Expect it to just work, and like that reminds me of the Browns drafting Trent Richardson how many years ago? Like they had no team around him. They were like, just give us the best player. Like, well, always the best player
Yeah,
isn't
that's
going to
gonna
make your team
work, yeah.
better. Yeah, I don't
Um,
know. I
who
I,
do
I
the
think
Raiders have
Genty's a
right
hell of
now?
a
Jimmy
player, but
Garoppolo?
I can't see them pass up on Shadur if he's sitting there at 6.
Who do the Raiders have throwing the quarterback or at
Aiden
quarterback?
O'Connell, they just got rid of Gardner
They
Minshew.
don't
Like,
have Garoppolo?
I don't think so. Maybe they do. Wasn't he a Ram last year? Let's look that up. Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't know where he is. Is he a starter though? Like, is that a
I'm
guy
pretty
you're?
sure he was injured last year.
All right, yeah, he Rams. He's a Ram.
Yeah, okay, there it goes. Never
Let's look at
mind.
here. Las Vegas Raiders. Let's see QB depth chart.
Quarterback room.
Oh, that's 2024. I need 2025. 2025. 2025. Aiden O'Connell. Where are we at here? Roster QBs. Carter Bradley. Can't forget that name.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's Aiden
I
O'Connell.
think it's I think if they pass on Shadur, it's more of a Brady, one of the upper management's kind of avoiding trying to dodge a bullet of Dion possibly trying to. I feel like there's a lot of rumors that like if he goes to a bad team like that where the coach is already on a hot seat, are they like, "Oh, Dion's gonna come in
Easy to
here and
point
try
the
to
blame,
coach," you
yeah,
know what I mean? Change everything around.
oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
I could see
Um,
Brady kinda say, "Let's dodge his bullet." I know he's not the majority owner there, but,
they could also
um
just eat another season and then wait for next year with, like, Archie or something.
yeah, exact and try to be picking 3rd overall or 2nd overall
Yeah.
next year because they definitely could if they don't go quarterback this year, but yeah, NFL draft next Thursday. Obviously, that's always one of my favorite nights of the year. Everyone thinks, their team's winning the Super Bowl in April whenever they make their first round pick. So I'm excited to see that. NHL, we have some power rankings here to get things going. Last power rankings of the regular season: the Dallas Stars at 5, Washington Capitals at 4, the Toronto Maple Leafs moving up to the 3 spot with Vegas at 2, Winnipeg sitting at 1. I feel like they've been in that 1-2 spot a lot this year. How do you feel about this list? Caps sliding. They had a tough last few weeks going into the postseason. They're still the 1 seed in the East. It's looking like they're going to get, I think, the Canadians in the first round. Is that officially locked in?
Hold on. Fuck, dude, Xavier Lee just went to fucking Florida.
Is that the kid from Princeton?
Yes.
Damn, that's kind of cool. I
He was
like that.
supposed to be at St. John's.
Uh, I didn't know that.
It was down to the final 2. Sorry, I didn't mean
St.
to
John's in
just
Florida were his final two.
yeah.
Well, I wonder what made him go to Florida. Probably Walter Clayton and all those guys leaving are probably the
Yeah, I guess
reason.
you're right, yeah, and
But go ahead. Top 5 in the NHL: Jets, Knights, Leafs, Caps, Stars. I was saying Caps kind of slid towards the end. I think they get the Canadians. I think the Blue
dude,
Jackets
did
aren't
you see
officially knocked out yet, but
no,
it's
and
looking like
it's
it's
like,
going to be the Canadians.
I don't know, dude, because Canadians need to win today, they're playing the Canes,
It's
and
1-1 end of the first right now.
if they lose, Jackets have the Islanders, I mean, you gotta win that game, you assume, and
Yeah.
obviously, if they're not kicked out yet, they win the tiebreaker, so I wouldn't count them out yet, and I think everyone in the country is pulling for Columbus because of, obviously, the whole Johnny Hockey thing and the underdog status, but, um, I think I'd rather see Columbus in there. I don't think either team has a real chance against the Caps.
Yeah.
You ask Ace, and he's gonna say something else, but
It's is it just me or is it crazy to see a Bruins fan like gassing up the Canadians?
yeah, I know. He just loves that young core. He loves Hudson. He loves Demidov, whatever the fuck his name is. He, he's a big, like, young stud kinda guy.
I definitely think, yeah, I don't think either team really there stands a chance. I think the Capitals, obviously, we've said what we've said about the Capitals all year. I think if they get either of those teams in the first round, I think I don't think they'll struggle with them, either of them too much.
I agree.
But yeah, solid top 5. The last one to end the regular season. Last thing we have here, that's like I said, the 2025 Stanley Cup playoffs begin this Saturday, April 19th. If you had a gun to your head, final prediction: who's winning the Stanley Cup? Who's getting there and losing? So basically, your matchup and who do you have winning the cup?
I cannot figure out an East. I'm gonna go Avs win it. Avs obviously win the West as well. Um, I I'm gonna go with the Canes. I'm gonna do it. I think
You think this is the year?
I think this is their year, and I don't think Florida has it in them this year. I don't think
Here's
Tampa.
what worries me
I
about
don't
the
love
Atlantic is
Tampa.
whoever gets to the Eastern Conference Finals from the Atlantic. I mean, I know it's not a given, but like, all right, Tampa, Florida, one of them's out in the first round. Toronto most likely is going to get Ottawa. I think Toronto will handle them. We know Toronto's
You
history in the
never
first
know,
round.
dude. I could honestly see Ottawa
I could.
coming out of the East as well.
That's
With all the
that's a. I feel like that's kind of a hot take, and not
how,
really,
but
but
think about it. Think about it. Think about who they're playing. You play Toronto, right? What does Toronto do every first round?
then they're probably going to get the Caps.
No, you'll play the Atlantic.
Well,
No?
doesn't the wild card not matter? Wouldn't they just get the highest team left?
I don't know if it reseeds.
I don't think it reseeds. I see. I hate when it reseeds. I wish it just. I like when it just stays the same because
I'm
in
not
my
sure.
mind, if the Caps
Okay,
beat the
regardless of who
Canadians,
they play, you play the Caps, that's a great matchup for the Senators, and if you play Florida, I think it's a great matchup as well because Florida's a little injured. Tampa might be their kryptonite there, but I just don't love Tampa, and I could not give you a reason why. I just don't think they get the job done.
see, I think Tampa's my pick, but what I was going to say is what scares me is whoever gets out of that Atlantic division, they're going to be beat to shit after those first 2 rounds.
Yeah, but they've done it before. I mean,
Yeah.
you saw Florida,
But like
and then they
Tampa,
ran into
Florida, I don't think anyone's going to pick that to be less than a 6-game series. You know
Florida's
what I
been
mean?
sliding. Florida's been sliding heavy.
Yeah,
I don't think
true.
they get it.
A lot
I
of people
like
were
them.
saying is Florida tanking to get the Maple Leafs in the first round. I thought that would have been so funny.
Yeah, I don't think that was the case at all. But,
Um,
dude, I even think that possibly Toronto could make a run this year. I mean, it sounds so stupid,
They're nasty, dude.
and it goes against everything that I say about the Jets and the Stars as well, but I think the East is not like the West this year. I think the East is way easier. You could see the Canes who always choke, you could see the Leafs who always choke, you could see one of those teams get there this year, or maybe you see a wild card team there.
Yeah, I definitely could say that the West is, I feel like, a little more wide open. I also have Colorado. I'm gonna go with Colorado beating Tampa Bay. Isn't that a cup final we've seen before? A
Yeah,
couple years ago?
2022.
Yeah, I thought so. A couple years ago. So a little bit of a rematch there, I think. Was that the one that Tampa Bay won, or was that the
It
one
w
Colorado won?
it stopped the three-peat.
It stopped the three. Okay, so
So,
I don't know. I
Tampa won
guess
20
Colorado would. Tampa, I don't have getting their revenge. I do also have Colorado winning it. Who's the favorite to win it?
let's take guesses real quick before even looking.
Yeah, I'm loading up MGM, but it's
It
gonna load
can't
up whatever
possibly
games
be
are live.
it can't possibly be Winnipeg. I'm
Miami's kicking the Bulls' teeth in right now. This is not good.
hold on, don't look, don't look, don't look, don't look. Um, I'm gonna go
Favorite
it's probably the Avs, or it's like
Dallas.
I was gonna say Dallas, but no, not Dallas.
All
I'm
right,
gonna
I'm
say
gonna click it. I'm gonna say Dallas is the favorite. You're saying Colorado.
yeah.
Let me see
Or
futures.
the Canes, dude, the Canes could be there.
Stars plus 650. Panthers plus 700.
Get the fuck
Av
out of here. There's no fucking way those are the top 2.
Avs plus 750. Oilers plus 850. Who I have possibly losing in the first round to the
Yeah,
Kings.
dude, these are crazy odds,
Hurricanes
man.
plus 900. Caps, the one seed in the East, plus 950. Vegas plus 1,000. Lightning plus 1,100. Jets plus 1,100.
Don't get me wrong, Vegas knows more than I do, but this is nuts, dude. I did not expect that at all. I expected Vegas to be higher. I expected
That's
Dallas to
if I
be
if
lower.
I had to pick, if you would have told me any team without the Avs, I would have said Vegas. I just think that team's built for the playoffs.
Those are
Like every
crazy
year they do
odds,
it.
man. Crazy.
I don't know. NHL is also, that's the best part about the NHL playoffs. If you're betting a Stanley Cup future, that's why I don't do it, is because it's the hardest playoffs to call who's going to win.
Right.
But you always get great value. Like if this is the NBA playoffs, I know the NBA is more top heavy. Like right now, the Celtics or the Thunder, what, plus 200 to win the
No, I
NBA
think they're like
Finals?
plus 140 to be
Yeah, that's
honest.
ridiculous. Like going into the playoffs, that's ridiculous. But
Yeah.
we know who they're going to get in the first round. Most likely who? Kings, Mavs, or Grizzlies, right?
Memphis, which I think Memphis could give them a run for their money.
Memphis could give them a run for they're just hoping they don't get Memphis, really.
Right, right, but they're
But
gonna get Memphis.
in the NHL, any of those teams could lose in the first round. Caps could go out in the first round to the Canadians. You know what I mean, or whoever they get.
Dude, you exaggerated that so bad. It's 10-point game. Um,
It
yeah,
was 25-12 when I checked.
yeah, you're right. The Caps could go out first round. I don't think they do, but they could. Leafs could go out first round. Jets could go out first round, even though I think the wild card teams in the West are a little weaker.
Yeah, I don't know. I think what was your final say? Abs over Canes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Avs Canes.
I'm gonna go Avs Bolts rematch, but Avs get it again. I thought the
I
Lightning won the
cannot.
last one. I was
I
gonna
don't.
say the Avs get their revenge, but they
I
won the
don't know
last one.
why. I don't know why I can't get behind the Lightning, but I can't do it.
No, yeah. Like I said, what scares me is I think they're gonna get beat to shit playing Florida in the first round, and then they're gonna be gassed. But we'll move over to the NBA. Like I said, playing tournament last night, 2 games there. The power rankings in the NBA for this week, last week of the regular season, or I guess start of the playoffs, go. Clippers at 5, who ended the season on a crazy win streak. I gave out the Clippers money line on Sunday during our live stream over the Warriors to clinch that. I think it was plus 165, plus 4.5, however you want to take it. Knicks at 4, Cavs at 3, Celtics 2, Thunder 1. The top 3 hasn't changed in, I feel like, a month and a half. Your Knicks sliding back in there. You get the Pistons in the first round. I'll kind of jump to this point real quick. We have these, we'll take a look at some of these playoff series that are officially locked in, give our picks on who's going to win the series and how many games. We'll start with your New York Knicks drawing the Detroit Pistons. Ace is sending you all the Cade Cunningham hype videos. Next thing you know, he's a bad boy Detroit Piston. Who do you have coming out of this series? Do you think this is even an issue for your Knicks? I have the Knicks in 5.
Yeah, I was gonna say Knicks in 5, maybe 6 if they push it. Don't get me wrong, Pistons are good. Cade Cunningham is a dog. He's a certified bucket,
I think
but
the
they're just not
inexperience will
ready.
show.
They're just not there yet. They're not
Yeah.
there. Give them a year, give them 2 years. Pistons will be good. They have a nice young core. They have a lot to build around over there, but we've seen this so many times with young teams who've just gotten there and the experience shows. I think the Knicks take care of business here.
And then the other one, we'll kind of jump, we'll work back a little bit. Magic defeated the Atlanta Hawks in Tuesday's play-in to secure their matchup against the number 2 seed Boston Celtics. Do the Magic stand any chance against the Celtics in the first round?
No,
I have the Celtics in 5. They lose a game.
there's no. I think there's no way. But I did see a stat that Magic are the second best team against the Celtics in the last 2 years. I think they're like 6-4, which is actually kind of
Yeah,
crazy.
that's
That's
kind of
crazy.
crazy. I would have never guessed that.
But I mean, I guess they could probably win a game or two, but I don't. No way they win 4 out of 7.
I think it'll be 3-0. Magic win one. It goes back to Boston. They lose.
It could be 2-1
Yeah.
or 2-1 then 4-1.
It's going to be 2-0 going back to Orlando.
Yeah, for sure. The Boston's not losing home.
Although Boston's been, the one place Boston's been bad this year is at home, which is
Yeah, but
crazy.
Boston, like, Ace says it, and we like the shit out of him for it, but Boston actually does not give a fuck until
Yeah,
playoffs.
I just loved it before the season. What was the narrative with Celtics fans is we won 74 wins. We're the best team.
Yeah,
We're a
yeah,
dynasty. Okay, you guys are the 2 seed. You didn't even get the 1 seed.
yeah.
Now, I mean, we hear the Magic fans chanting, "We want the Celtics. We want the Celtics."
Yeah,
You
credit
said
for
it. Be
what you
careful
wish
what you
for
wish for
there.
there, but I have the Celtics in 5. I don't think it's a sweep.
Yeah, I don't think it's a sweep either,
Yeah,
but I wouldn't be surprised if it is.
yeah, me either. It's more likely to be a sweep than go 6 for sure.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
the other one last night, Golden State defeated the Grizzlies in the play-in tournament to clinch a 7 seed in the West, secure their spot against the number 2 seed Houston Rockets on the first round of the playoffs. Are you riding with the veterans to win this series? I saw you sent it -200, -196, whatever it was. Or do you like these young guns in Houston to make it a series?
No, come on, man, you know where I'm at. I also how I feel about the Warriors, you know how I feel about Steph.
Yeah,
This team
well, Ace kind of, but you're more the Steph guy.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been, yeah, but I mean, this team is just so much better with Jimmy Butler. They're top 3 in the league, I think, since acquiring him. Completely different team. They get the job done, and they have 2 vets that really know how to play playoff basketball. Obviously, with the Rockets, they get that young core is unbelievable, and they've been winning all season, but they haven't really been in a situation yet. And it's crazy that the Warriors are -200, but I
Yeah,
gotta
that's
take them.
honestly fucking insane.
I
The
gotta
if you
take
look
them.
at that on paper, 2-7, and
But
they're minus
then again
200.
then again, you look at the West, and Warriors could have been a 3 seed as
I was
well,
just gonna
so
say they
it's
win
like
2 more games, they're the 3 seed.
they're not a real 7 seed, everyone knows that, but I mean, this is gonna be a good series, don't get me wrong. I think the young guns are gonna get theirs as well over in
6
Houston,
games?
but I'm
You
gonna
got
go
Warriors in what, 6?
Warriors in 6, or even if it goes 7, Warriors in 7.
Yeah, I got Rockets in 7. I think they handle the home court. They've been good on their home court all year. I know I just said it about I forget what team we were talking about. I think the inexperience will show with the Pistons. I don't know. I've been
Bit of
biased
a
to
different
this.
situation,
I
though.
was gonna say I've been biased to this Rockets team all year. I think they're very good at home. I like Ime Udoka, a coach that led the Celtics very far in many playoff runs. A very young Celtics team that hadn't proven anything at that point either. Led them to a finals against the Warriors. They obviously lost there. I'm not saying the Rockets are going to go to the finals this year. I have them beating the Warriors in 7, getting it to a matchup against the winner of the Warriors, or not Warriors,
Lakers,
T Wolves
Timberwolves.
Lakers series. But yeah, I'm going to go Rockets in 7 in that one. So we're jumping east to west. We'll get to this next one here. Celtics Magic. We both just gave our picks there. The last one in the east, Pacers Bucks. Where do you go here? I have not seen a series price on this one. I have the
I
Pacers
think the
in
Pacers are, like,
5.
-190, I wanna say.
I have the Pacers in 5. I think the Bucks are. This is a season.
Well,
This
there's
a
no
tough season
Dame
for them.
either. There's no Dame either. Hold on, let me get a series price on this. I'm gonna go Pacers in 6 as well. Um, Giannis is good for a game or 2, but they don't have it this year. Kyle Kuzma's like their 2nd, 3rd option right now. Um, it's just not gonna do it. Hold on.
Yeah,
Series
I
market.
agree. Find that series price on there.
Minus
We'll jump.
195 Pacers plus 160 Bucks. I don't
So
think
it's the
there's any
exact
value in
same
the
as
Bucks.
Warriors Rockets.
It's the exact same as Lakers Timberwolves actually.
Okay.
Warriors Rockets are 200, 165.
Okay. We'll jump to that one. Lakers, T Wolves. You just heard it. Lakers are the favorite in this series. The 3-6 matchup. These are two teams I love to watch. Obviously, Anthony Edwards, LeBron James. This series is going to be must see TV for me. I have the Lakers. I'll do my Shannon Sharp imitation in 5. I don't think they're going to be. I think the Timberwolves are going to be a little lackluster for this Lakers team. The issue with this series is Lakers obviously never went and got that big man that everyone was saying they needed. They tried to get what's his name, Mark Williams or whatever his name was from the Hornets. That trade obviously got sent back, send Dalton Connect back to the Lakers. The T Wolves can bring out three centers: Naz Reid, Rudy Gobert. They have the big man to compete. They could have both of them out there on the floor, two of the three. Anthony Edwards, obviously, we've seen what he's able to do, especially in the playoffs. Last year, he proved it in the playoffs until he got up against Luka, who's in this series. This is going to be a great series, probably the best on paper, in my opinion. I'm going Lakers in 5 over Minnesota. I think they win it back in LA in game 5.
I'm gonna go Lakers in 7. I think this one goes the distance. I think the Lakers haven't really been playing the best basketball. Obviously, the star power is gonna get the job done. Luka in the playoffs has been unbelievable. We saw what he did against Memphis last year, or against Minnesota last year. He gets to do it again against them, and Minnesota's gotten worse in my opinion. So Ant's gonna do his thing. I think that team will get theirs, but Lakers in 7. I don't think the Lakers really make it that far this year. I know you have them winning it, but
I do. Um,
Philly's 4-4, by the way.
what'd you say?
Philly's
Phillies are
4-4.
4-4. Nice. All right. Can the fucking Bulls do something so I can actually win
No,
some
they're
money
they're
tonight?
getting they're getting pumped now.
Nuggets, Clippers, last series. Nuggets, I believe, are the higher seed here with the home court. Clippers coming in as the hot hand here. I have the Clippers winning this one in 6.
It could be 5. It
I
c it
I
it
was
could
just
be
gonna say
over
it could.
before it
That's so
starts.
funny you said that. I was just about to hesitate and say could be 7.
It it could be over before it starts. I know everyone looks at the Nuggets and they're like, "Oh, Jokic, Jokic." You gotta see the minutes when he's not on the floor. It's like they can't afford it. He has to play
He
48
has to
minutes
play
a
40
night.
minutes. Yeah,
And even if he does, I mean, he can't be everywhere. The Clippers are playing way too good basketball. They have playoff Kawhi. James Harden looks like he's back in 2019 right now. I wouldn't take a lot of teams against this Clippers team right now. I really wouldn't.
they're definitely really good. They end the season on a 10-0 win streak.
It was like 9-1. They've won like 13 of their last 15. It was
Yeah,
ridiculous.
they're definitely they're deep too. Like their bench,
Dude, a
everything.
healthy Clippers team, we've known this for 3 years though. If this team could stay healthy, they're really good.
You think Paul George is sitting over there in Philly scratching his head like
I don't
motherfucker?
I don't even think they'd be in a situation with Paul George. That guy is so washed at this point.
I
This
li-
team
I,
is
always,
way
I always
better.
like Paul George. I'm the one right hand up. I thought it was going to work in Philly. I obviously realized that 3 weeks into the season when they started with like 4 wins.
Yeah, he's doing what we're doing. He's talking about
I
everything.
was going to say he stopped his podcast because they weren't good. I bet he's back to doing that now because he has nothing else to do with the playoffs starting. But yeah, I'm gonna go Clippers in 6. I'm pretty confident in that one. I think the Nuggets, obviously, the coach firing Jokic is
They're
drawing
in
up plays in
shambles
the
over
huddle.
there. Yeah, they're in shambles over
I
there.
think they're looking at next year. Rumors: Dan Hurley could be very interested in that Nuggets job. Any opinion on that?
I hate Dan Hurley, man. I
I do
think
too.
he's such a
I hate
dickhead,
him.
man. He's such a dickhead. He, he goes back to back, gets offered all this money from the Lakers. He's like, "Nah, I'm gonna stay in college, do my thing," and then UConn sucks, and he's like,
Yeah, and then he sucks, and then he's like,
maybe
really?
maybe I should have taken the bag in the NBA and had a way easier job."
The other college coach that's getting their name thrown around for this job is Nate Oates because he obviously Alabama's had the last few good seasons. I definitely think if you're the Nuggets, you go for Dan Hurley over Nate Oates.
I don't know. I feel like it's easier just to go for Nate Oates.
It's definitely easier. You probably don't have to pay him as much, but like
But
I
dude, Hurley's not an NBA coach. He's not.
no, because you coach like that hard ass style in the NBA.
These
Jokic
guys are
is
gonna
gonna
look
be
at you
like,
like, "Dude,
"Fuck
what the
you, dude."
fuck? Like, what the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, Jokic is gonna say something in broken English, being like, "I'll draw a play, you sit down."
Yeah, like, stay in college, that's his style of play. You've had the success there. Even with a pretty brutal team last year, they did fine. They won a March Madness game. Stay there.
And then the two series we didn't touch on, the 1 seeds versus the 8 seeds. Do the Cavs have any issues with any of these teams they're gonna get?
I don't think so, but, I mean, I think the Cavs would be the only 1 seed that would have a chance of that's not true, actually.
I personally I think they'll sweep any team they get. Hawks, Heat, Bulls.
Yeah, I agree. The bottom of the East is just
Thunder,
way too
same thing.
bad.
The only team that gives them maybe a game or two is the Grizzlies. But
Memphis
now
could give
John
him
Morant
Mem
rolled his ankle or whatever last night. He might not even play in
Oh,
this.
did he?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, it's cooked then.
he
It's
might not even
cooked.
play in this first round.
It's cooked then.
So I don't think either 1 seed has any issues. I have sweeps with the 1 seeds there. We'll jump. That's it for the NBA. Like obviously, like we said, we have a playout going tonight. The Bulls not looking great. You heard us mention that. Hopefully they can turn around the second half. Or the MLB power rankings this week, we had, let me find it here. The Chicago Cubs at the 5 spot, your New York Mets at the number 4, San Francisco Giants at 3, the Dodgers at 2, and the Padres at 1. The NL West taking over our top 3, all National League in the top 5. We were talking when we made this list. There may not be an American League team until what, 7 with the Tigers, Yankees. You got to consider the Diamondbacks in that 5 or 6 or 5 spot, depending if you're big on the Cubs. I like the Cubs. I know, did they end up losing today to the Padres?
Yeah, they lost 4-2.
So end up losing today to the Padres, who we have as the best team in the league. I don't think that discounts them too much. Cubs, I think they'll be in this picture long term. Your Mets, how do you feel about them making their? I feel like they. I don't think they were in this spot all year last year. My Pirates were in our power rankings last year. I don't think the Mets or Red Sox cracked the top 5. This is the first time we've had one of our squads in the top 5, at least in the MLB, this season. How do you feel about your Mets going forward? Especially looking at these other 3 teams. Are they better than the Giants? Are they better than the Dodgers? Are they better than the Padres?
They're better than the Giants. I think the Giants' run ends sooner rather than later. I think the Padres and the Dodgers are gonna be could be 1 and 2 the entire
Class of the
season.
NL, yeah.
Yeah, but the Mets, I mean, the bats need to get going. They're sitting where they are right now with one guy batting
Soto
over
hasn't even
3.
gotten going yet.
Dude, Soto, Lindor, I mean, Vientos has been one of the worst in the league. They have one guy hitting over 300. Pete Alonso's been absolutely incredible this year. Other than him, the lineup is not hitting right now, and they're still winning games. They're 11-6. Could be 11-7 now after today's loss, but everyone was worried about the pitching. Pitching has been best in the league, top 3 in almost every category down the line. So I mean, once the bats get going, I really have no worries about this team. They could win the division with the way the Braves and the Phillies are playing. Braves are in serious trouble. I think they can't find wins. Um, but I mean, this team was built for this. I mean, I'm not really surprised. I don't think anybody should really be surprised. You go and you pay 765 million for for a guy, and you know you should be in the running for top team in the league.
I was just gonna bring up that point too. Like a lot of people in the MLB, like the average MLB fan, they hate to see teams like the Mets, Yankees throw all these money at guys, and they're always like, "Oh, I hope it blows up in their face, doesn't work. I hope Soto's a bust." Me as a Pirates fan who has a $69 million payroll, and you guys are paying Soto 65 million, I'm like, please work so the other owners in the MLB can point at that and be like, well, I guess you do have to spend a little bit of money to win games
Yeah.
because what the Pirates owner nutting, I fucking hate the guy, loves to point out is when the Tampa Bay Rays went to the World Series against the Dodgers, was it COVID year after, they had a bottom 5 payroll, go to the World Series with Kevin Cash, Blake
It's like
Snell,
Moneyball.
Tyler Glasnow, that whole team. That was a great team. Everyone was on very friendly contracts. They all leave the year after that because obviously they made the World Series. Everyone thinks they're the top shit in their position. I hate seeing bad payroll teams do good because all that does is show ownerships like the Pirates. Oh, I guess we don't have to pay people. We can just have Skeens
Yeah,
on a
but
rookie deal, and
especially for a team like Pittsburgh, I mean,
I mean, we're never going to compete. I could
y
sit here and
no,
bitch all day.
you can if you spend the money, but, like, you can't be like, "Look, they did it. You've been doing it for 25 fucking years, and you haven't
Yeah,
been to
it
playoff you
hasn't
made the
worked.
playoffs
Yeah,
once."
exactly. You
So,
got to
yeah,
try
they might
something.
have done it, but you can't do it. Go
Yeah,
spend the fucking money.
dude, and then he had the nerve
It's
to say
just
in
an
an interview
excuse. He's like, "It'll come sooner or later." Like, no, it won't. That was probably one of the best front offices in the league, and
that
it was
figured
a
out how to
once.
pay all these guys at the right time. Signing bonuses were probably
You
bigger
get a
than the
few
actual
you get, like,
contract
you get a guy, Randy Arozarena, who's a rookie and goes off.
and
I
could have
mean,
been World Series MVP if they won.
you need those wild cards like that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a once in a lifetime scenario,
And he
honestly.
loves to bring that team up. And then he had the nerve the other day to say, you know, you can point to the payroll all you want, but at some point the players on the field have to produce. Which I'm gonna say 2 sides of this. Yeah, he doesn't play the games, the team has to go win games. But when Skeens is pitching and they score 2 runs in 9 innings, it's like, come the fuck on, dude. Like, give me 2 our big bat signing this offseason was Tommy Pham.
And how's he doing? I think he's batting like 120.
I think he's about 116, but on the bright side, he hasn't punched Jock Peterson in the face yet. He must have paid his fantasy football dues this year. So I guess that's good. But MLB, obviously, we're getting into the tough part of the MLB. NHL, NBA playoffs are going to be taking over most of the news the next few weeks. MLB back on the back burner until the end of probably June when NBA and Stanley Cup Finals end. But We have the card going. A tough start to the season in the MLB. That's kind of how it goes. 162 games. We're taking that mentality as well. Had a winning night last night. Looking to have another one tonight. We got the Rangers Athletics team total. Looking to get back. Have a nice little 2-0 night. 2+ money plays. By the time you're listening to this, those will be over. But always catch all of our plays. MLB, NHL, NBA. HitTheBooks.pod on Instagram. HitTheBooks_pod on Twitter. And then the last thing, two quick things to go over. Not necessarily quick. I do want to get your opinion on the one because I know about the other. We'll start with the one that I know. Rory McIlroy's finally done it after 11 years of attempting to complete the career Grand Slam. Rory takes home the 2025 Masters and a playoff against Justin Rose, securing his green jacket, making Rory the sixth player in golf history to win the career Grand Slam and the first player since Tiger Woods in 2000. What did you think of this year's Masters? Rory aside, obviously I've told you my opinion on him. And were you rooting for Rory? Obviously, you know my opinion there. Give yours. I'll give mine as I'm right hand up. I don't love the guy, but I'll give my opinion on it.
So I don't love Rory either. I don't not like him at all, but I was rooting for him. I wanted to see him do well. He kind of did what he always does. He kind of choked, but
He
obviously,
tried so fucking
yeah. But
hard
then again, he birdied 17, then obviously bogeyed 18.
and
But
then buries the playoff hole to be like, yeah, see,
yeah,
it
yeah,
wasn't a jinx. Like,
yeah, exactly. No, good for him. Obviously, incredibly clutch performance down the stretch. Being able to put that last approach shot to what 3 feet, 2 feet.
dude, put yourself in his shoes after the way Sunday went. You start the first hole with a six.
Incredible, dude, like, it's
You
actually, like,
hear the
I've
roars of
thought about
Justin
it.
Rose birdie 17 to tie you at 11 under. He pars 18 to stay at 11. There's a play, misses the birdie putt on 18.
No, 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 he bogeyed 18,
That's what I mean. Misses the par putt to bogey 18. Sorry, to get to 11 under to force the playoff.
and everyone is sitting there like, "This guy's gonna do it again."
This
You
motherfucker's
gotta
gonna do it again.
you gotta
Like,
think, like, in his head, he's like, "This can't be happening right now,
how
like, this
can
this
you
can't be
stand
happening."
over that tee shot in the playoff and actually hit a good shot? You know how many fucking
I
things
was
are going through my head?
I was sitting there and I was like, "Dude, what if he just, like,
Stuffed
sends
it
this
into the woods,
what if he
dude.
just sends it off a tree right now and it comes right back at like, I would 100% with that much pressure on me, oh my god, dude, that was
Imagine
incredible,
the
but
craziest just slice 2 fairways over, like,
two
oh,
incredibly perfect shots
s
to
see,
seal the
that's where
deal.
like I said, I'm not the biggest Rory guy. Hands up, I have a love-hate relationship with pro golf in this aspect that everyone has their guys they root for, everyone has their guys they're not a big fan of. No one has many guys in golf that they're like, "I fucking hate that guy." Don't root for him. Everyone at the end of Sunday, they're like, "Oh, Rory won. Congrats." Like, whoever it is. The fact that he got the Grand Slam, that was a cool moment. I can definitely say, no one's done it since Tiger in 2000. I was 6 months old probably when that happened. So to be able to see it, I watched him win the career Grand Slam in a playoff, the way he did it, that approach shot
The
on the
way he
playoff
did
on
it too,
18.
yep.
When that thing was rolling back, I'm like, fuck, just go in for two. End this thing right now. I thought it was going to go in and roll in.
Dude, you saw it hit up there, and I didn't realize it had spin on it right away, and I was like, "Oh, he's got a long putt." Then I'm like,
Imagine if they would have had the
"No, he
same putt.
doesn't."
That would have been crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
And it would have sat there.
once Justin Rose missed that, I was like, "Yeah, I mean, there if
And
he
once he
misses
missed,
it."
I was like, dude, imagine the pressure again there. It's like, oh my God, another putt to
But
win the
you thought
Masters.
you've missed this putt before.
And the
You
top
have
of the screen says for career Grand Slam.
Yeah.
You imagine you missed that putt, dude?
I did see that. It said for career grand slam. That was crazy
Not
too.
to win the Masters, let alone
Yeah.
that's enough pressure. To win career Grand Slam, something he's been trying to do for 11 years. That's where, again, I keep saying I'm not the biggest Rory guy. I just don't love all the, taking a phone. He didn't shake Bryson's hand. Bryson went to shake Shoffley's hand. He won the U.S. Open the next weekend. Not the biggest Bryce. I wasn't saying I'm rooting for Bryson. That's not who I bet. I'm a Scott. I'm through and through Scotty Xander. I like those guys, but to see Rory win that was very cool. In the end, when it's a playoff between him and Justin Rose, I'd definitely rather see him get the Grand Slam than. I do feel bad for Justin Rose in this spot though. Most top 10, now top 5, I think finishes. It definitely top 10. Don't quote me on the top 5. Most top 10 finishes in Masters history without winning a green jacket, and he's now come in second twice in the past 6 years.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, you hate to see it, but did you see his quote after?
No.
He was like, "Yeah, I was really hoping to ruin history right here, but you gotta be happy for the guy
Yeah,
because
see,
you
like,
know, they're
that's
like,
what I
we're."
mean, like, that's a cool like, that's a good way to answer it, and I liked what Bryson said in the clubhouse after. He's obviously gotten way more, like, relatable since, the whole YouTube thing, people love to chirp him for that, but he is way more like an open book now. He used to, everyone when I used to hate Bryson, I don't hate him as
Well,
much
Bryson
anymore. He
used to
just
be a
obviously
dick,
he
dude.
used to be an asshole, yeah, but
He
exactly.
literally had, like, he hired a PR team to, like, change his
To
entire
be like, "Dude,
image.
why don't people like me?" And
Yeah.
they're like, "Well, the guy
Do
lifted
this,
a
start a
rope
YouTube
for you."
channel."
Remember when the guy lifted the rope for him and it
Yeah.
hit him in the head and he's like, my
Yeah, you
eye," and he
freaked
went
out.
down, like, it's like, "Dude, come on."
That's what he literally hired a PR team, and he was like, "What do I have to do?" And they're like, "Do this, start a YouTube channel, make yourself likable, like, don't be
Sign a
yelling at
couple
fans."
autographs after the round, like,
Yeah, yeah.
people will like you. Like, he did it to himself. It was obviously Bryce and Rory going back and forth, who's gonna win it, and then it looked like, holy shit, is Justin Rose just gonna sneak in and win this thing? Like, that definitely would have been a crazy story. I and this is back to what I was saying in my love-hate relationship of golf. No one has their guys they love and hate. I'm not the biggest Rory guy, but, like, I did find myself at the end of Sunday being like, "All right, that was fucking cool that he won that." I rewatched the whole round on Monday night. It was on Golf Channel. They just re-aired it. I caught it, when Rory was on, like, the 6th hole. I was like, "I gotta watch this back because the way this went was absolutely insane." The Masters Sunday could not have lived up to more hype. I think that's one of the best majors. I hate to say it. I think that's gonna be the best Sunday we get at a golf tournament all year. The
Yeah,
stakes
and
with the
it should
Masters,
though.
the
It
major, yeah,
should. It should, for
it
sure.
should be.
They're
You're
saying
right.
it's the
The
best
Masters.
Masters since 2019 when Tiger won it, and,
They said that's what they said. The biggest
yeah.
Masters since 2019. And I told my dad, I was like, dude, I remember a lot of sports moments. The Masters with Scotty the past 2 out of 3 years, John Rahm mixed in there. I remember those moments, but like they don't stick out as much. The one that I said was me and you riding back from Philadelphia from Addison's All Star tournament, and you were like, "Holy fuck, Tiger's gonna win this thing." I
Yeah.
was like, "Dude, we're about to watch Tiger Woods win the fucking
In
Masters."
2019, we're about to see Tiger win another
I remember
Masters.
we were riding back from Philly in your Beamer,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
we had it pulled
I
up on your
remember, yeah, we had it you had it on your lap.
yeah, dude, you were like, you're driving, like, "Watch it." I'm like, "Watch the road."
What
Yeah, that was
time,
awesome. I'm
man.
glad you remember that too, because I told my dad that, like, last week, but great Masters. Obviously, this weekend, we get the RBC. Scotty, the defending champion there. I'm excited for that one. Obviously, not as big of a stake with the next major. I believe it's the PGA since they switched him around. It used to be last, now it's second. Definitely excited for that. But the Masters, great weekend there. And then the one I wanted to get your opinion on, former Tennessee Volunteers quarterback Nico Iamaleava has now hit the transfer portal after being dismissed from the program over the weekend. The decision came after the school was made aware of Nico's camp reaching out to other schools in desire for a bigger NIL deal. He had agreed to a 4-year, $12 million NIL deal with Tennessee and was being paid $2.6 million annually, looking for $4 million a year. Now finds himself in the transfer portals or in the transfer portal, and the rumors have it that schools are now willing to only offer up to and including 1 million per season. Were you aware of this story? What do you think of the situation? Could be costing himself 1.6 million a year. Again, they don't know if this is him. His dad is his agent. We've heard that in sports 100 times. Guys try to do it with their parents being their agent. I just had this conversation with my dad 10 minutes ago. I said, "Dad, when I make it to the Masters in 5 years and I'm a pro golfer, you won't be my agent because we can't. It's let's put family and business to the side. It never works out, and this is the number I don't even know, 500 reason why his dad was calling Oregon, and it ended up getting caught by, I guess someone reached out to Oregon. He was looking for a deal. He's from the West Coast somewhere, Hawaii. I
You
don't really
know
know where.
he committed, right?
To where? UCLA?
UCLA, yeah.
So that's where everyone was saying he was going to go. Do you know what the
Yeah.
deal is? What's the
I
word?
do
What?
not hold on, let me see
Try
if
to
it's
look that up because do you know how it got caught? He reached out to Oregon, and Dan Lanning and Heupel, I guess, are all those head coaches are in the little inner circle. You know what I mean? Lanning called Josh Heupel, the head coach at Tennessee, and was like, "Hey, your star quarterback that you guys are paying 2.6 million is calling other schools being like, can we get more money?"
dude, that is just like, that is why NIL is just so messy, dude. It's just dude, don't get me wrong, I 1,000% agree
They
with
deserve to get paid, but they should once you
you
sign
are
that
making
contract, it's
you are making this university a shit ton of money, you should get your cut, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
But the whole, like, negotiating like you're a professional athlete and, like,
you
looking at every other
agreed.
college, it
Here's
is
12 million.
yeah, it is ruining college sports, I swear to God it is. Um,
I really hope he only got 1 million a year. Did you his
Quarterback
dad said ten
is
his dad told other schools apparently, Tennessee's not paying the bills.
yeah, that's not
2.6 million a
19
year.
years old making 2.6 mil, God forbid. Nah, there is no number yet.
I wonder what kind of bills that kid has at 19 that 2.6 million
Yeah,
can't
he's
pay.
gotta pay for his Ferrari and his fucking yacht.
Probably 4 beach houses already. So
And
there's no nothing. It's UCLA. They said the only school that can afford to pay him close to what he wants is UCLA just 'cause all the money in LA.
yeah, I saw something, like, teams are, like, waiting for him to, like, go on sale, like, it's
Go
just
on sale.
ridiculous, like, 'cause they wanted to, like, hold out against him,
Yeah, like,
like,
"Hey,
prove a
we'll bring you
point,
in July."
like,
Like,
prove a point.
yeah.
Like, this isn't how NIL is gonna go. You need
What was he
to
gonna do? Go back to JUCO? No shot.
yeah, yeah. I don't know, I mean, go get your bag, I would do the same
Again,
thing as
yeah,
well, it's
I
just
agree there. I want everyone to get paid. NIL
don't
came for a reason. It did, but it again,
it's
you
getting
signed a
it's
4-year,
out of hand.
$12 deal.
I will say it's out of hand, for
It's
sure.
g and then, dude, some of these college basketball transfers, these guys are getting 3 million to
College
go to
basketball is
Tennessee,
ridiculous. Dude, bench guys in college basketball average 200 to $500,000. Like,
playing 5 minutes a game.
you are supposed to be making money off of what you're bringing into the university. These bench guys are not bringing a dollar to this university. They're sitting on the bench the entire time. You're paying them $500,000.
No
It's
one's
just
buying a
this
ticket to come see fucking I can't even name
you
2
can't name
guys
them
on the bench.
exactly. You can't name them. That's the whole thing. It's like you're a nobody, and it's just being on the roster. You're making this much money. It's just this is where it's getting out of hand. Like those top guys, pay the top guys. They're bringing in the money.
Heat are now up 58-37.
Yeah, I think we could chalk it. But
Fuck, schools
yeah.
suck,
I mean,
dude.
if I was in the situation, I would do the same thing. I just don't like how any of it's going down.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a tough scenario. Definitely gonna be I mean, I was gonna say interesting to see where he ends up, but you said UCLA, that was the favorite. Um, Obviously, I don't think anyone's expecting much of UCLA. They kinda sucked last year, but, yeah, good week in sports. We got NHL playoffs this weekend, NBA playoffs on right now with the play-in, playoffs, I think starts Sunday for the first round, but MLB, like I said, any of our plays, MLB, NBA, NHL, hit the books pod on Instagram, hit the books _ pod on Twitter. NFL draft next Thursday, so a lot going on in the sports world. Thanks for listening. Leave us a like, follow, share, subscribe. We appreciate it all. Give us a follow on Instagram. We appreciate it. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys next week for some NFL draft preview. Obviously, we record on Wednesdays, release on Thursdays, so we'll have another little bit, kind of maybe predicting some of these top 5 picks, top 10 picks in the NFL draft. So stay tuned for that. But thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys next week.